YouTube channel Easy Explanation. This is part 2 of our video tutorial series on array in C programming language. In part 1 of our video tutorial series on the concept of array, we discussed the following points. Array is collection of elements of similar data type. Array is indexed from 0 to size -1. Array elements are stored in continuous memory location. So now we can define array of any valid data type in C. So we discuss about the integer array. Integer array are used to store only the integer values, and we can define integer array something like this. Int a of size is suppose 100. So in this integer array we can store 100 integer values. Then we have floating point array. You can define the or declare the floating point array something like float b of 10. So in this floating point array b we can store 10 floating point values. Similar to the floating point array, we can have character array. In C programming language, character array are also called as a string. In C programming language, character array are also called as a string. So we'll be discussing the concept of a string in the next video tutorial series in detail. You can declare character array as char s equals to 20. Now in this character array s, you can store 20 character constant. So you can declare array of any valid data type in C programming language. Now different way to declare and initialize the array. Different way to declare and initialize the array. So suppose when you are declaring array something like this, int a of 10, then our compiler will create an array a of size 10, and the array will be initialized with garbage values. So in this case, array will be initialized with garbage values. Now suppose if you are declaring you are initializing the array during this declaration, something like initializing the array during declaration. So you can declare the array and initialize the array at the same time, something like this. Int a equals to 10, 20, 30, 40. Now our array a will be initialized with the value 10, 20, 30 and 40. So here you can see I have not provided the value of size here, so the size become optional. So the array size become optional and you initialize the array during declaration. So array size become optional, so you do not need to mention the size of the array when you are initializing the array during its declaration. So you can see this example like array 2.c. different way to declare the array. Has include stdio.h int main and int a equals to, or we'll write the floating point array also, like float b equals to 20.5, 10.45, 20.56, 13.23, something like this. Now here initializing during declaration. So no need to mention the size of array in this scenario. Now I can print the values like printf value at index 0 is %d / n, and you can write b of 0, then return 0. So if we'll compile this code, gcc, okay, I have written %d. So it is the format string for integer. For format string of float we have to write %f. Now I will compile this code again. And dot slash a dot out. You can see the value of index 0 is 20.50. So percentage dot 2f in order to remove the extra values after the decimal point. I can get the value 20.50. So if you want to iterate over all these values, then you can declare one integer I, int I, then you can write something like this: for I equals to 0, I less than, what is the size of array here? 1 2 3 4. I less than 4, I plus plus. So obviously our index will be from 0 to 3. Control X, Control B. So value at index %d is %2f. So I comma b of I can write here, right? I comma b of I will be the index value, and index and b of I will be the value at that index. So if we will print the values, you will get something like this. Okay, the value at index 0 is 20.5, at 1 is 10.45. So you can tally your result here. Value at index 0 is 20.5, value at index 1 is 10.45, value at index 2 is 20.56, and value at index 3 is 13.23. Okay, so this is another way to initialize the array and declare the array at the same time. Now once you have understood what are the different way to declare and initialize the array, let us move into another topic. This is one of the very much important topic in C programming language, the relation between array and pointer, or I will write array and pointer in C. So before moving into the concept of array and pointer in C, let us understand the concept of pointer arithmetic. So before learning the relation between array and pointer in C programming language, we have to learn the basic of arithmetic related to the pointer. So I'll write pointer arithmetic in C. So I'll demonstrate the concept of pointer arithmetic in C by some example program. So I'll write the first program as pointer1.c. So program to demonstrate the pointer arithmetic has include stdio.h int main. So since you know that pointer deals with addresses, so I will first try to print how much memory space is required by the different data type in my system or in my compiler. So for that I will write one simple printf statement, printf /n size of int in my compiler is %d, and you can print the size of any variable by using the function called as a size of int. So it will print the size of int for my compiler. So if you are executing in your system, it will give the size of integer in your system. I'll declare for all the valid C data type. So integer, float, and char. So size of char means how much byte of memory space is required by char, how much byte of memory space is required by float, and how much byte of memory space is required by integer. So these are given by size of function. So size of, here I will also write float, then char. So this thing is required during the pointers arithmetic, so we need to have understanding of how much memory space or how much byte space is required by integer, float, and char. So let us compile this code. So we have pointer1.c, so gcc pointer1.c. okay, I'll suppress the warning. These all are the warning here. So gcc -w pointer1.c and /a.out. You can see the size of integer here is 4, so you can write 4 bytes. Size of float is 4 bytes and size of character is 1 byte. So in my computer system or my compiler will reserve 4 byte of memory space to hold the integer values, 4 byte of memory space to hold the floating point values, and 1 byte of memory space to hold the character values. So you can write bytes also here, bytes, then bytes. Okay. Let's compile this again. ./out. Now since this concept is required, means how much memory space is required by integer, float, and char is required to understand the pointer arithmetic, I'll create one separate terminal here again. Okay. It's our separate terminal here. Now let us move into the pointer arithmetic part. So I'll create one more file, pointer2.c. So program to demo pointer arithmetic. Okay, has include stdio.h int main, and then I'll declare all these 3 data types: integer, float, and char. So int a equals to 10 and one pointer for a, it is pointer b, then one more floating point, x equals to 20.5 and pointer is y, and one more character pointer char, ch equals to a and cptr, or instead of y I'll write fptr for convenience, and integer will be iptr. Okay, now I'll be storing the address of a in iptr. iptr equals to address of a, then we have fptr will store the address of x. Similarly cptr will store the address of ch. Since these are the floating point values, you have to store the addresses in the floating point values. If you do not know the concept of pointer in detail, then please refer to other video tutorial related to pointers that has been uploaded in our YouTube channel. I have given the description of the link where to find the pointer tutorial in our video, in our YouTube channel. So please go through that. Now let us print out the addresses. So printf /n address of a equals to %u/n, and it is given by iptr. Control C, similar for our fptr and cptr. Control V, address of x, address of ch. Here it will be fptr and here it will be cptr. Okay, now let us print the address first. pointer2.c. So ls we have pointer2.c, and I will compile, suppress the warning if it is there, then pointer2.c and /a.out. You can see the address of a is this much, means at last value is 52, then address of x is 54, and the address of ch is 51. Okay, so these whole are the address of ch, address of x, address of a. So in this way you can print the addresses. Now let us say I'm incrementing the address values or pointer variable. Suppose I'm writing something like iptr plus plus. It means what? If you do not know what plus plus is, I am doing something like this: iptr equals to iptr plus 1. Similarly, I am incrementing the floating point pointer as well, fptr plus plus and cptr plus plus. So what will happen when I will increase the pointer or increment the pointer or add +1 to the given pointer variable? So let us see the final result of incrementing the pointer. So I'll write new address, new address, new address, and at last I'll write return 0. Okay, now let us compile this code and see the next result. I'll clear this for now. Now see here, let us verify this, all these 6 result. First compare address of A with the new address of A. So the first address of A is 1857008328, and the new address of A is 18570083. Then instead of 28 we are getting 32. Okay, similarly in the case of floating point, the address is, initial address is 32, after incremented it has become 36. In case of ch, you can see the initial address is 27, now after incrementing the address has become 28. So what actually happens is, when you increment the pointer variable, it actually points to next address location. So since size of integer is how much byte? 4 byte. You can see the size of integer has 4 byte. When you have incremented the pointer by 1, it actually has pointed to the next address location. So next address location for the integer will be how much? 4 byte more spaces. So it will be 328 plus 4, which will be how much? 1857008332. In this case we have 28. So after incrementing by 1, it means what? 4 bytes of memory location needs to be reserved more. So 1 into 4 will be how much? 4. So 28 plus 4 will be 32. So in this case we have incrementing, this is the floating point addresses. So floating point address also will be incremented by 1, means 4 byte of memory space will be reserved. Next 4 byte of memory space will be reserved, and we are getting the next address as 36. And character require only 1 byte of memory spaces. So the next address location will be 27 plus 1, which will be 28. So in this way we are getting the values here. So again I will explain all this concept here. See, so the initial values of iptr equals to, suppose this, or we will take one simple values, 100, or 100 is the initial values of IPTR. So when you increment the IPTR by 1, or IPTR equals to IPTR plus 1, since IPTR is not a normal variable, it is a pointer variable and it stores the addresses. So when you increment the addresses, okay, so when you increment the address, it will be incremented by total number of bytes. Okay, so here in this case what happen is, when you write IPTR equals to IPTR plus 1, so it means it is equals to IPTR is how much, 1000 plus 1 will be interpreted as 1 into total number of bytes. For integer it is 4 bytes, so 4 bytes. Okay, 1 into 4 bytes. So the next address location will be 1004. So we can conclude one information from here is, when we increment the pointer variable, it actually points to next address location. Okay, it actually points to next address location. So if you visualize this thing, let us say int a equals to 10 and star IPTR, and IPTR is equals to ampersand a, then memory mapping of this statement will be something like this. A variable a will be created and it will store the value as 10. Suppose this initial address is 1000 or 100 is initial address, then I'm creating one pointer variable IPTR. IPTR will hold the address of a, which is 1000. Now we are incrementing the IPTR equals to IPTR plus 1, means we are trying to add 1000 plus 1. If you write plus 1, 1001, so it means what, we are just reserving 1 byte of memory space. What integer require how much memory space? 4 bytes of memory space. So 1 means it will be incremented by 1 into 4 byte, so which will be 1004 byte. So the next, so after incrementing the pointer, our pointer will point to next address space at the address of 1004. Now our IPTR, after incrementing IPTR by 1, our new value of IPTR will be how much? 1004. So it will be something like this, Control V, and this will be something like this. Similarly, in the case of floating point as well as the character pointer. So in case of character pointer, we have char ch equals to a and cptr as declaration. So in this case, let us say we have declared one character variable ch. In this location we have a. Let us say the address of this is 2000. Okay, now cptr will contain address of ch, which is 200. Now when you increment the cptr by 1, it means what, we are incrementing the addresses value by 1, and the size of character is how much? 1 byte. So the next address location for character to store the character will be how much? 2001. So when increment the address by 1, it will increment the it will be incremented by total number of bytes. So it will be 2001, 1 into 1 bytes. Okay, so that is the reason why after incrementing the value of cptr will be this 2001, which is the next address location. So in every cases you can see, after incrementing the value, after incrementing the pointer variable, the pointer is now pointing to the next address location. So integer pointer has been now pointing to the address location 32. Similarly, floating point has been up incremented to address location 36, and the pointer variable of ch is now pointing to address location 28 instead of 27. Okay, in this way our pointer arithmetic works. Now this concept will be more clear by another example. Something like this. I'll write pointer 3 dot c, another example to demonstrate pointer arithmetic. Okay, has include stdio.h int main. I'll be using the same variables here. Same variables, a, an integer pointer is iptr, x, and floating point pointer is fptr, and for ch the character pointer is cptr. I'll be printing the initial addresses of a, x, and ch. Now let us say if I have incremented the iptr by 5, something like iptr equals to iptr plus 5, and I have incremented the fptr equals to fptr plus 4, and then cptr equals to cptr plus 3. So what will be the new address location? Here. Now first we'll try to understand this concept. Suppose the initial address of a is 1000, initial address of x is 2000, and initial address of ch is suppose 3000. Now I'm trying to add 5 into the integer pointer. So 5 means we have to reserve 5 more memory spaces, or our iptr will point to the next 5th address location. So the value of next 5th address location will be given by what is the current value of iptr we have here is 1000 plus the 5th memory location, or the next address, or next 5th address will be pointed by 5 into 4 bytes. 5 into 4 byte equals to 1020 byte. So our iptr will now point at address location 1020. Instead of pointing at 1000, our new address location will be 1020. Okay, so plus 5 means plus 5 into 4 byte. So 4 byte is what is the size of integer is 4 byte. So if we are incrementing the address by 5, then it will increment by 5 into 4, which will be 1020. Similarly, in the case of fptr, the initial address is 2000 plus we are adding 4, and the size of float is 4 byte. So the next address location that is pointed by fptr will be 2016 byte. 1020 and 2016. Now see, in case of cptr, the initial address is 3000. If we are incrementing it by 3, it means what? The size of character is 1 byte, so 3 into 1, it will be 3003. So after incrementing by 5, the next address value will be 1020. After incrementing by 4, the next address location will be 2016, and by incremented by 3, it means the next address location will be 3003. Okay, in this way the pointer arithmetic works. So whenever you add any integer constant to a pointer variable, it will point to the next address location. It will point to the next address location. So we can conclude from this example program that conclusion is, if we add constant to integer pointer, it points to next address location. Okay, so this is the thing that you need to keep in mind while performing the pointer arithmetic. So since pointer is not a normal variable, whenever you add any constant to it, it will be incremented by the size of that variable. The size of that variable. So incrementing by 5, so initial value is 1000 plus 5 means we need to reserve 4 more spaces, because the size of int is 4, so it will be incremented by 5 into 4, which is 20 bytes. So total 20 bytes will be incremented, and the next address will be 1020. Similarly, the size of floating point is again 4 bytes, and we are trying to resolve the next fourth bit of location, next fourth location, and next fourth location value will be given by 4 into 4 is 16. So 2000 plus 16 will be 2016. So next address location pointed by a PTR will be 2016, and since character required just 1 byte of memory space, so when you are incrementing by 3, it means what? We are incrementing by 3 into 1 byte, so the next address space will be 3003. In this way our pointer arithmetic works. Now one more example for the pointer arithmetic. So pointer 4.c. So in this example we'll be learning about pointer subtraction. Okay, so since pointer addition, or if you are adding a constant to a pointer, it points to the next address location. Similarly, if you are subtracting a values from a pointer, it points to the next address location in reverse order. So something like this has include stdio.h, or pointer subtraction point to the previous address location. Int main, I'll write one simple variable, a equals to 20 and star b. Again in b I am storing the address of a. Now printf address of a equals to %u /n, it is given by b. Okay, now I am decrementing the b by 5, b equals to b minus 5. So previous fifth memory location, so b equals to b minus 5 means previous fifth memory location. So if you print the new address after decrementing it by 5, you will get new address equals to new address of a equals to b, and then write return 0. So how it will work is, let us say the initial address of a is 1000. Okay, let us say it is 2000. Okay, initial address of a is 2000, and if you are decrementing the address by 5, it means what? We are decrementing 2000 minus how many byte? 5 into 4 byte. So we are decrementing fifth location, means 5 location after 2000. So we will be total be decrementing how much? 5 into 4. So 4 is nothing but size of integer. So 22,000 minus 20 will be 1080. So the next address location pointed by b will be 1080. So the initial address location pointed by b was 2000. After decrementing by 5, the next address location pointed by b is now 1080. So we can subtract. So from this we can conclude that we can subtract a constant from a pointer variable, and in this case we can also add one more thing. In conclusion, we can add a constant. Okay, we have written there, or we can add constant pointer variable. Okay, now coming to again this question, we can subtract a constant from a pointer variable. Now if we subtract constant from a pointer variable, it will point to previous address location. Okay, so if I compile this code pointer4.c, then see the result. Dot slash a dot out. So you can see here it was 96, and 96 minus how much? We are decrementing by 5, so 96 minus 20 will be 96 minus 20 will be 76. So the initial address location was this, and after decrementing by 5 it is now pointing to this address location. I have not compiled the pointer 3 file, so I'll compile this also here. Pointer 3.c and dot slash a dot out. You can verify your result here again for pointer 3. So this is about subtracting a constant from a pointer variable, and this example is about adding a constant to a pointer variable. So in the pointer 3 we have incrementing the pointer variable by 5. So you can see here, so 88 plus 5 into 4 will be how much? 20. So 88 plus 20 is how much? Means 288 plus 20 is 308. So the new address location pointed by our pointer variable is 308. Now I am incrementing the fptr by 4, so it will be 292 plus 4 into 4 is 16, so 292 plus 16 will be 308. And again we are incrementing the character pointer variable by 3, and size of character is 1 byte, so 3 into 1 is 3. So in this case we have 87 plus 3 will be 90. So you can see the result. In this way, by adding a constant to a pointer variable, we are pointing to a next address location. If we are subtracting constant from a pointer variable, we are pointing to the previous address location. And one more thing that you need to keep in mind is, while doing the pointer arithmetic, never multiply pointer variable by a constant. Never multiply pointer variable by a constant. And one more thing, never multiply pointer variables, and never add to, or never add any, never add pointer variables. Something like, you cannot do something like this. If you have two variable ptr1 and ptr2, then you cannot write ptr1 plus ptr2, because the address generated by ptr plus 1 ptr2 can be different values which is not even placed in the our memory location, or the address cannot be available in our memory location also. So that is the reason why we are not permitted to perform these types of pointer arithmetic. We can subtract a pointer from another pointer, but we cannot add two pointer variable. We can never multiply pointer variables, and we can never multiply a pointer variable by a constant. So these are the things that you need to keep in mind while performing the pointer arithmetic. Okay, so what will happen when we subtract one pointer variable from another? So it will give you the number of bytes that is between them, okay, or number of bytes by which they are separated. If you are subtracting one pointer variable from another pointer variable, it will give you the number of bytes by which they are separated. Okay, so we'll verify that concept also. Now once you have understood how does the pointer variable works and how does the pointer arithmetic works, then we can go into the concept of array and pointer now. Okay, now let us move to the original concept of array and pointers. Array and pointers. So how array and pointer are related? So again, we'll understand this concept by a simple example. Array and pointer dot c. The program to understand the relation between array and pointer. Okay, so has include stdio.h int main, and then we'll declare an array int a. Let us say I will initialize the array here only 10, 20, 30 and 40. Okay, so now I will declare one pointer, integer pointer star ptr. Now suppose I am writing in pointer variable, I am storing the initial address of variable a, something like this. Okay, I am storing the initial address of a, initial address of the array into pointer variable ptr. Now I will iterate all over these array variables and array values and print out the values here. So for that I will declare one more variable, something like this. Now say printf the array elements are, we are simply displaying the elements of array here, /n for I equals to 0, I less than, how many values are there? 4, 1 2 3 4. So obviously the index will be generated from 0 to 3, and then I plus plus. Now printf, we can print the values of a pointer by using star ptr, right? So the values are %d /t, and then we can write star ptr, right? Now in order to move to the next location, we can write ptr plus plus. Now first let's execute this code and then analyze the code. Means how does it produces the result? Let us see. So ls, what is the array and pointer? The file name is array and pointer, the gcc. And then I'll write ./a.out. You can see the array elements are 10, 20, 30 and 40. So printf /n. I have included this slash n to break the line after the output. Since it's not breaking the line, I have put the slash n there. Again, I'll compile the code and see the result. The array elements are 10, 20, 30 and 40. So how does this produces this result? So let us understand this. So we have an array A. Let us say how much memory space will be reserved now? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 into, and each integer take 4 byte of spaces. So 4 into 4 will be 16. So total 16 byte of memory space will be reserved. So 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so they are initialized with 10, 20, 30 and 40. Okay, let us imagine the initial address of A is 1000, and obviously the next address will be how much? 1000 plus 1. Like if I am adding 1 here, then it will be incremented by how much byte? 4 byte. So the next address will be 1004 because the size of integer is 4. Again I am incrementing this address, so the next address will be again 1008, and the next address will be 1012. Now see here, so when this line will be executed, you will get memory mapping like this. Now after that we are declaring one pointer variable ptr. Okay, now in line number 6 we are storing the initial address or the base address of A. So A of 0 is called as ampersand. A of 0 is called as base address of A. So ptr is storing the base address of A, which is how much? 1000. See, we are storing the base address of A in pointer variable. Now we are trying to display the element of array. So since we have how many elements? 4 elements. We need to have one looping variable that will be iterated 4 times. Now see, in the initial time, means in line number 10 we have printed something like printf. We have one printf statement and we are printing star ptr. So star ptr will give you how much? Star of 1000. So it means value at location 1000 is how much? 10. So your printf statement will print 10. After that we are incrementing ptr plus plus. We are incrementing the pointer variable. So if you are incrementing the pointer variable, it will be incremented by how much? Plus 1 means 1 into size of integer. So 1 into size of integer is 4. So it will be 1000 plus 1 into 4 byte. So the next address location pointed by ptr will be 1004. So in ptr variable we have now 1004. Okay, after ptr plus plus, when the value of I increments, again it will print the value of ptr. So the value of ptr will be star ptr will be a star of 1004, and value at location 1004 is how much? 20. Now again ptr will be incremented. When you increment the ptr by 1, then it means what? 1004. When it is incremented by 1 means 1 into again 4 byte. Okay, 1 into 4 byte will be how much? 1008. So the next address location that is stored in ptr will be 1008. So again star ptr will print what? Star ptr will print star of 1008. And what is the value stored at location 1008? It is 30. So we have printed 10, we have printed 20, now we have printed 30. Now after ptr plus plus, again this will happen. The address will be incremented by 1, means 1008 will be incremented by 1 into 4 byte will be 1012. Now star of 1012 means value at the location 1012 is how much? 40. So our printf statement will print 40 and we get the result as 10, 20, 30 and 40. Final result as 10, 20, 30 and 40. In this way you can see we are incrementing the pointer variable every time to point out the new address location. And since array elements are stored in continuous memory location, every increment of the pointer will point to the next address location. So you can see here, I will write it down here. Increment the pointer to point the next address location. Okay, since we are dealing with the array and array are continuously allocated, array elements or array memory are continuously incremented, and if you know the base address, we can increment the base address to reach each and every memory location. So our loop will run for 4 times and will print the 4 results here. Okay, so that is the relation between array and pointers. I hope every one of you understood this concept. Now one more thing that you need to understand here is, so the base address of array is given by ampersand. Suppose array name is a, then ampersand a of 0. Base address of array is given by ampersand a of 0. So another way to get base address of array is by giving just the array name. Okay, so if you have an array something like this, int a of 10, so you can get the base address as ampersand a of 0, or we can simply write a to get the base address. Okay, so simply the variable name of the array also give the or returns the base address of that variable of that array. So base address of array, and this also gives the base address of array So you can either use ampersand a of 0, or simply you can write a in order to refer the base address of a. So if you know the base address of a, then you can increment the addresses in order to reach each and every location of the given array by incrementing the pointer by 1 every time. Now you can demo this concept by again array and pointer to 2.c. I'll add the same concept here. Okay, instead of passing ampersand a of 0, we'll be simply be using a. Okay, and here a is called as the base address of array a. Okay, base address of array a. Now you can see the result again. We'll get the same result as above. Dot slash a dot out. You can see you are getting the same result. So in order to get the base address of the array, you can simply write ampersand a of 0, or you can write simply the array name, which is a. So this is also the thing that you need to understand while dealing with the array. Now once you have understood the relation between array and pointer, now let us understand how to pass array into function. Passing array as argument in C. How to pass an array as argument in C? So there are two ways by which you can pass an array as an argument. One is pass by value, and another is pass by reference. If you do not know what is pass by value and pass by reference in function in C programming language, then we have another video uploaded on this topic in our channel. Please refer to that. So we'll again understand this concept by one example program. So first understand how to pass an array by values in C programming language. So pass by val.c, pass by value in C for array. Okay, so hash include stdio.h int main, and then let us declare one array or something like this. Int a equals to 10, 20, 30, 40, or we'll ask the user to enter the values. So I'll declare an array of size 5, printf enter 5 numbers. We'll ask the user to enter 5 numbers. So for that, scanf should run how many times? 5 times. For that, I will declare a variable called as I for I equals to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus, and then scanf to read integer %d and store these values at the address of a of I. So first value will be stored at the address of 0, a of 0. Second value will be stored at the address of a of 1, then a of 2, at a of 3, and a of 4. Okay. Now let us just print the values that we have stored in the array. For that, I will be calling a function called as a display, and display function will be called 5 times. So for that also we will be using for I equals to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus, and I will be calling display function as a of I. You can see a of I will return what? A of I will return the value at index I. Then define the function void display. Since we are calling the function display just with the single values, then we can store the single value in a single variable. Let us say the variable is n. We can write printf /n %d, then we can write n, and after that, after all the printing, we will write printf /n. Okay, now you can see here you can write one more printf statement with printf array elements are, okay, something like this. Now for all the values of array, starting from index 0 to index n-1, I am calling the display function, and display function will receive the individual element and display the individual element. So this is the example of call by value, because we are calling the function display just by a single values. Okay, so we'll compile this code. Pass by value tcc-w pass by value.c /a.out. enter 5 numbers 10, 20, 30, 40, -1. You can see the array elements are 10, 20, 30, 40 and -1. In this way you can call the function by value or pass value to a function here. Now pass by reference or call by reference. So this was the example of pass by value in C programming language for array. So we are calling the display function here for each element in the array. So display function will be called for a of 0, then a of 1, a of 2, a of 3 and a of 4, and for each call it will print the values. So that is the concept of pass by value for array in C programming language. Then we have pass by reference. In pass by reference we'll be learning about how to pass an entire array to a function. In this case we are just passing single values to a given function. Okay, we are just passing a single values to a given function. In pass by reference we'll be learning about how to pass entire array to function in C. Has include stdio.h int main. Okay, so one more thing, so never forget to write the function prototype. Since I have suppressed the warning, it is not showing the error, but in your case if you are not including the function prototype it may throw the error. Okay, so here int main I will declare one array b. So we have 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. I have declared and initialized the array at same time. Now in this program we need to pass an entire array to a function. Let us say the function is display. So display, so as in the previous pointer arithmetic and in the concept of array and pointer, what we learned is if you know the initial address or the base address of the array, we can increment the base address in order to access each and every values at the given location of the array. So what we will do is I will pass the base address of array into display function and total number of elements in the array. So what is the total number of elements? 1 2 3 4 5. So total number of elements here is 5. Okay, and then write return 0, and you can write a printf statement here. Printf elements of array are something like this. Then we can write void display. Then since you are passing the addresses, the address will be stored in the pointer variable. Let us say the pointer variable is int star ptr, and I will be storing the size, which is 5, in a variable called as a size, int size. Okay, then I have to iterate the loop. How many times? Size time. For that I will create one more point looping variable called as I. For I equals to 0, I less than size I plus plus. What you have to do is printf %d, and then we can write star ptr. I have discussed about this concept. Then after that every time increment the pointer in order to point to the next address location. So now we will declare a function prototype for display function here. Control V, int star and int. So you can see here I am calling the display function by reference, means we are passing the base address of array into display function and the size of array, and the base address will be stored in the pointer variable and the size of array will be stored in the size variable. So I'll be calling on loops that will be executed size times or less than size times, and every time it will print the values at the given pointer, and after every increment we will be incrementing the address location so that it will point to the next address of the given array. Okay, so ptr plus plus will every time point to the next address location of the array. So I have discussed about this concept previously, so you can relate to that. Now when I'll compile this code, gcc-w pass by reference.c and dot slash a dot out, we'll get the same values, elements of the array as this one. So after that you can write new line also to break the line. Now let us you can see the elements of array are these. Now here we are passing the base address of array into the function. So this is the example of pass by reference. So as I have discussed earlier, you can pass the base address by just the variable name also, right? So instead of writing ampersand b of 0, control C, control V, we can simply write b. So b will also store the or give returns the base address of the given array b. So when you compile this code, you will get the similar result or the same result. Okay, in this way you can pass an entire array to a given function in C programming language. Here the base address of b will be stored in ptr variable, and ptr variable will be incremented every time in order to point to the next address location, and we will be printing the value of the given address location by using star ptr, and this thing will be called how many times? Size times. So star ptr will be printed up to 0 to size minus 1 time. In this way we can get the result. I hope every one of you understood the concept, how to pass by reference and pass by value for array in C programming language, and what is the relation between array and pointer in C programming language, as well as different types of pointer arithmetic, and what are the things that we can, what are the arithmetic that we can perform, or what are the arithmetic that we cannot perform for pointers in C programming language. So I hope every one of you understood the concept. If you have any queries, any question related to this, please mention in the comment sections. We'll try to answer your question as soon as possible. And please like, comment, share and subscribe to our channel for more updated videos. Thank you for listening everyone. Till then, bye bye.